Welcome back to Low Stress Math with Mrs. Bono. Today we are on Unit 1, Lesson 3, Solving Equations with Fractions. Fractions! Dun dun dun! There are a bunch of different ways to do this. I know most people like to just look at it and turn the fractions into decimals and go from there, but you don't have to do that. There's actually kind of an easier way to do it. So let's get started. Step 1, find the least common denominator. Well, the least common denominator there is 6. I know you're thinking, but the 2x doesn't have a denominator. Yes, it does. It has that invisible 1. So now I know that 6 can go into all of these numbers. So LCD, least common denominator, is equal to 6. It's the same as the least common multiple, but you knew that from 6th grade. Multiply each term by the least common denominator. So I'm going to write it out like this. 2x plus 1/6 equals 5/6. I'm going to put a bracket around it. Then I am going to multiply everybody by 6. Now, when I say multiply everybody, I mean the numerators only. So 6 times 2, and 6 times 1, and 6 times 5. So I'm going to write it out. 6 times 2x plus 6 times 1 over 6 equals 6 times 5 over 6. Identify the variable, then move the constant. Oh, yeah. I have to solve this first. Okay, so 6 times 2 is 12x plus, look at this. 6 divided by 6, that just disappears, and all I have left is 1. Plus 1 equals, look, 6 divided by 6, it just disappears, and I just have 5. So now, there's my equation with no more fractions, and my life is so much simpler, and I am a much happier person. So, how do I solve this? I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides. And now I have 12x equals 5 minus 1 is 4. Divide by the coefficient. The coefficient is 12, so I divide everybody by 12. And now I have x equals 1/3. I'm going to put a box around that. Now listen, I could change it to 0.3 repeating, but why would I do that? It makes it so much more difficult. Just leave it as a fraction, because look what's going to happen when it's a fraction. Stay with me on this one. I have 2 times 1/3 plus 1/6 equals 5/6. Okay, 2 times 1/3 is 2/3 plus 1/6 equals 5/6. Grab your calculator and put in 2/3 plus 1/6. 2/3 is actually equal to 4 over 6, because 2 times 2 is 4 and 3 times 2 is 6. 4 plus 1 is 5. The 6 stays the same. 5/6 equals 5/6. Yay, it checks. So, let's try the next problem together. Now look, I don't have the same denominator anymore. I have 5 and I have 10, so my least common denominator here is 10. So now I'm going to multiply 10 times y minus 2/5 equals 1/10. So let's see. 10 times y, 10y, minus 10 times 2 is 20 over 5. And the last one, I'm just going to leave it as 10 times 1 over 10, because then that can just cancel. All right, 10y, nothing happens to it. Minus 20 divided by 5 minus 4 equals 1. Yay, not horrible. All right, add 4 to both sides. And 10y equals 5. Divide both sides by 10. And you get y equals 1/2. All right, pause the video and do the next 2 problems. I'll be right back.